Committee meeting, July 17th, 2014. Executive session roll call. Felice?
Here.
Adams?
Here.
Miliani? Here. Fleury?
Here.
Toriello?
Here.
Okay. That's it.
You want the sunshine law?
You want the sunshine law with this? Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the Express Times, North Star Ledger newspaper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board, and filing a copy with the Township Clerk.
Okay, for our first executive session item, we're going to deal with the personnel matter, Chief Hummer. And for the record, traditionally or typically, executive session matters include personnel. Those discussions are typically held in private, but at the request of the chief, we will have this discussion in open session, consistent with his express wishes to the Township Committee. Anything else you want to add?
No, fine.
Okay.
No, just this
we're
one.
just going to handle this one.
Just the chief.
And then when we finish discussing this item, we will then go into executive session again, but off the record.
We're not in executive right now. We're in a meeting.
No, we are.
Nobody made a motion.
Motion for executive.
Yes.
We have a motion for to go into
Okay.
executive.
All right, so, all right. With that said, I'll make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matter at Chief Hummer.
Second. Felice?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani? Fleury?
Yes.
Toriello?
Yes. Okay, you've all received a copy of
We're not
the...
voting on executive.
Do I turn this off now? Yeah, right.
Yep.
No,
It's open.
No, it's open.
Okay, so just made a motion to go into
So
executive.
you've all received a copy of the order from the court, and the court's opinion relative to a recent litigation with the Warren County Prosecutor's Office. I've asked Frank to just kind of summarize where we're at, the present or continuing obstacles with the implementation of the settlement agreement that this Township Committee approved on April 15th of this year, and what might be possible next steps for this Township Committee.
One of the items on the agenda is the status of the litigation. This is going to dovetail into the current scenario with the chief, so I'm going to take a little bit out of order. You all have received the correspondence from the past week, the court's decision and the court's order. You know what the basis of the litigation was. You're also all aware of the directives given to the chief previously, going back to January, February, about the terms of the settlement agreement. At that time, the chief obviously, in his view, disagreed with the Township Committee's actions, did not follow the directives of the Township Committee. At that time, we forwarded a copy of the settlement agreement to the prosecutor's office. They forwarded us correspondence siding with the chief and invoking the Chief's Bill of Rights, commonly known as, that's known as statute NJSA 48-14-118. At that time, based on the conversations or the correspondence exchange between myself and the prosecutor, the chief continued to ignore the committee's directives. We were forced to file litigation against the prosecutor's office. Last Thursday, we were granted our injunction. The judge in Somerset agreed that the prosecutor's office and the chief could no longer interfere with the settlement agreement and bringing Officer Kozopoulos back to Greenwich Township. Based on that order, we submitted a email to the chief telling him that we expected him, Officer Kozopoulos, back, requalified and back on patrol within 7 days. And then I forwarded the 3 or 4 exchanges between myself and the chief to the committee so that they were all aware of what's going on. There is a continued impediment placed here by the chief into bringing Officer Kozopoulos back. He has made progress, I guess, in the last 5 or 6 days, enrolling him and getting him qualified partially for the rifle, but not yet for his firearm. And I believe he's enrolled now into a Gloucester County class on the 22nd. Originally, the first email was, he wanted him to enroll in more courses than we required. Wanted him to complete those courses, which would have concluded, I believe he said, November 6th, which again, would have been basically an end around the order. He also, going back and forth on the terms of the agreement, I forwarded him the court order and indicated to him that was acceptable. He then said he had to get measured for his bulletproof vest, which would require approximately 12 weeks. I don't know where his old vest is. I understand it was left here at the time of the administrative hearings. I indicated to him that I thought he should get some kind of vest from just a regular vest that wasn't tailored to him until the proper vest came in. So that being said, it was basically continuous back and forth on bringing the officer back. He has made a little bit of progress since last Thursday when we got the judge's order and decision. But I leave it up to the committee, and you've all seen the order, the decision by the judge, and the back and forth between myself and the chief as to what course of action the committee wishes to take.
Well, I will just speak for myself. I've had concerns with the course of dealings with our chief since January in terms of what I perceive to be really a pattern of insubordinate conduct. And I think the recent exchange following the court's clear directive, I find particularly troubling in terms of where we're at and the continuing impediment. And speaking for myself, I would like to authorize our township attorney to conduct an investigation into this personnel matter and to provide a written report back to the township committee in terms of as to where we're at and what potential next steps would be for this committee.
And again, and I admitted before, we already received a notice of tort claim about a month ago, I believe, when this first started, and we've received constant correspondence from the officer's attorney on what's going on, and basically telling us that, short of him coming back and us complying with the settlement agreement, more litigation is to follow. Obviously, that's not what we want. We've tried to work this out. We're running into roadblocks. So we need a commitment that he's coming back, and when, and hopefully it's going to be soon.
And when I refer to the pattern or the concerns that I've had since January, I'm including what could potentially be the libelous statement of Chief Hummer that was seen in the newspaper regarding Officer Tizopoulos. That's just one of many examples, which is why I believe a thorough investigation into all matters is warranted at this juncture.
Would that be you doing it, or is there someone that you would like to have as an outside?
If it's a review just of the rules and regulations, see if there's any disciplinary infractions, that's something I can handle. If it's going to be an investigation of the tort claims information and the things involving Officer Tizopoulos regarding future litigation, which should probably be handled by a third party.
So maybe it should be both. Maybe we could address.
I think we should have it after the investigation.
I do have a question. I'd like to know if anyone has knowledge as to when the first day that Officer Tizopoulos will be on patrol.
Right now, he's going to a class on July 22nd. I understand he's still on administrative duty. I don't think we have an answer as to when he's going to be back on patrol. The directive of the committee was within a week. He was to requalify with his firearm. He went to requalification training for his rifle. So I don't have an answer to that, so I don't know. I only know what the directive of the committee was. The court said he should be returned to duty. There's no course that's standing in his way, so short of that, I don't know what the impediment would be to returning him to patrol.
What's the total amount of days that he's been on admin since the settlement?
He came back on the 25th, I think, officially,
Of May?
of April.
April.
So it's over 2 months, it's 2.5 months.
So there's been no real movement in classes or training or any of the things that we targeted that were done by the state? Nothing has been done?
Well, no, no classes were scheduled. The chief scheduled the academy to start on July 15th. It was always our position that it wasn't needed, and that's what the judge ruled.
The classes that are scheduled now, those are the only classes that are available from the state right now for him to take.
The earliest one is Gloucester. That's the earliest one that would cover most of the topics I think that we need.
That's what's been referenced.
The refresher, right.
So we brought him back April 25th.
5th.
Apparently the vest was not ordered at that time. There's
No.
reason for that?
No. The issue just came up yesterday or the day before, that he needed to be remeasured for a vest, and it was going to take 12 weeks to come in, and he was going to remain on administrative duty.
I had heard that his uniform, maybe the vest is in the store.
I don't know. I know that's what I heard from his attorney, that the vest was taken and put in storage. They do expire, the warranty expired after 5 years, but that doesn't make the vest, I guess, obsolete. I mean, obviously, safety is an issue, and we always want to be safe as far as an officer goes, but that's why I asked the chief to look around to see if he could find somewhere around here that could at least get a vest in the meantime to get him back on patrol before returning to the street.
And just for the record, we're talking about more than a vest. I mean, this is an example of various situations and positions taken, which continue to be impediments to effectuating the settlement that this township committee approved on April 5th, including the litigation, including recent email exchanges, including statements made to the press, including other, I'd also like the review to include general responsiveness to the liaison and reporting under Section 118, which is statutorily required. There's a whole host of issues that I think should be thoroughly reviewed by you. Anything else, Angela?
Well, I would just like to know that he is trying to do the things that, he, at this point, is required to do, given the court ruling, and he's putting in effort. Obviously, if that's the best he can do, then, it is his responsibility to do the day-to-day workings of the police department. It's not our job to tell him what to do as far as the day-to-day workings. So, it's not our job to micromanage him. But by the same token, if there's some way that he can show us that he's trying, then I think that we should give him every opportunity to explain that.
Any other comments?
I mean, the ultimate goal here, I mean, from what I'm hearing you're saying, Frank, is that we're not going to see Officer Taziopoulos on the job until November, if things go the way they're going, or what?
I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew. I mean, the directive was to get him back on the patrol as soon as possible. He was brought back to get on, and then we've gotten into back and forth about this, which, forced us to file litigation against the prosecutor, and basically 2 months have gone by with that. I don't know when he's going to...
I'm sure the agreement is the ultimate goal is to get Officer Taziopoulos back on the job to meet necessary manpower capacity requirements. While consequently, meeting the settlement, and meeting the settlement agreement and adhering to the settlement agreement, while also adhering to the court's decision to adhere to the settlement. I'm concerned that he's been brought back in April and he's still not in the capacity to service this township in his full capacity, which he's supposed to be, based on the agreement of both, the settlement between his settlement with us as well as settlement that we just got done.
Either way, we have to wait till that Gloucester County train,
No.
whatever it is that he's got to go to.
Well, the
Is that what you're telling me?
Well, at this point, so close, it would make sense just to,
Okay.
just to do
So,
a
and what
course.
keeps the length of that?
I think it's a one-day course.
Oh,
And there's a CPR that's in town. I believe that Chief told us today was an in-town training, CPR, and
so the November one, that was just the best?
that was,
Proposed?
the 12 weeks was the best. The November date was if he had to do all these courses. I think if you added them all up, it was 31 days or something like that.
Okay, so that doesn't exist really?
No, that wasn't the agreement.
What's the course that he has to go attend for one day?
What is it? It's various things. It's Title 39. I believe there's 2C involved. It's an 8-hour course. It covers a bunch of topics, most of which would then make him compliant with what we asked him to do in the settlement agreement.
Has he been requalified on his pistol?
No, I think that's on the 22nd, the 24th, one of those days. It's the 22nd is the requalification
Is
day.
that training something that's done internally? Like, is there a trainer in the department that can do that kind of qualification? That's been done sub-K?
I think one of the officers is in charge of that. Not sure which one, but I think one of them is.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing nothing, I'd like to call for a motion authorizing the township attorney to A, retain independent or a separate investigator relative to the tort claim notice that the township received regarding Chief Hummer's alleged libelous statements regarding Officer Pizopoulos. We're taking the separate motions.
I'll make that motion.
Comment? Roll call.
Haley's,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. And then finally, can I have a motion authorizing the township attorney to conduct an investigation relative to Chief Hummer's performance? That's all. Is that right, Fran? And to make recommendations to the township committee.
Potential violation of the rules and regulation.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Comment? Roll call.
Haley's,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. And now, can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss contract negotiation, shared court services, firehouse lease, status of the Greenwich Township versus Warren County Prosecutor's Office, Township of Phillipsburg versus Township of Greenwich, and Greenwich Township Board of Education versus Township of Greenwich.
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, we're recording.
Waiting for me, right?
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Which one? Oh, no.
Maggie has one. She's going to talk. Here, where's
Who?
So where's Maggie? An environmental.
That's right.
No. Where's Maggie? Okay, we're recording. Are we ready to go? You got the PA on?
Yes, it's on.
Okay. Regular meeting of the Greenwich Township Committee. Members present, Bayleys,
Yes.
Adams,
Here.
Miliani, Polari,
Here.
Torriello.
Here.
All rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're gonna take things a little bit out of order right now. We have a presentation that the Township Committee would like to make to several students who won an Earth Day competition sponsored by the Greenwich Township Environmental Commission. And there were over 70? Over 80 essays, and we have with us tonight the first and second place prize recipients of that competition, which was sponsored by the Greenwich Township Recreation Commission. Environmental Commission, I'm sorry.
We do work hand in hand with Recreation.
Too many commissions. Yeah, we have with us tonight Lisa Tavares and Maggie Kay. I will butcher your last name. Husternet. And Chase Rivera and Angelica Di Giovanni and John Detour. John, would you like to say a few words before we begin?
Thank you. You step up to the podium with the microphone. I don't know why I step back that far.
There you go, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie.
He's wingman.
First of all, I want to say thank you to all the kids that participated, especially the first and second place winners that are coming in. I'm John, I'm the treasurer of the Environmental Commission, and me and Maggie here read through all the essays on lunch breaks and our spare time and everything, and I think I can certainly say that creativity in all 80-plus kids that entered into the competition really showed a lot of creativity and understanding for the topic that we chose for them, which is why should we recycle? What's the point of recycling? What benefits does it have? And we really felt that Chase and Angelica really did a bang-up job actually getting to the core and the soul of what it's all about. So right now we'd like to present the reverse two prizes, Chase and Angelica. Unfortunately, Joseph wasn't here tonight to receive his prize. So the first place winner is Chase.
Job well done.
Yes.
Who has a...
Give me this photo.
Can you come back?
Please want to come back?
We have to get the photo out, Chase.
Okay.
Did he sign the waiver, John?
Nice job. Congratulations.
And second place winner is Angelica Di Giovanni.
Got it?
Let Mom get one too.
Oh, Mom wants one.
Oh, there you go.
We'll have to compare which photos we got.
Congratulations. And third place winner is not present?
Joseph isn't here today.
How do we want to, do you want to mention them on the record?
School in September and find them.
So you want, we can,
Angelica.
I think we have a way of finding it.
yeah.
We call tax records.
We have a way of
I will
checking.
hold it until the clerk is going to
Okay.
find it out.
Very good.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I just want to recognize Maggie and John before you hop out of here, but, really appreciate your efforts on the Environmental Commission, and you guys really took the bull by the horns on this one and pulled it off. Over 80 letters were received. I read through the top 3 here, found them very interesting and insightful, so thank you for your efforts. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Can I have, now back to regular business. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes, regular minutes for April 24th, May 15th, and June 19th as amended?
Make a motion?
I'll second. Any comment?
Yay!
Roll call?
Yay!
Haley's,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Laurie,
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes. And, I don't, where's the bill list?
Bill list is,
The bill list?
yeah,
Oh, that wasn't your example? That wasn't your sample?
No, that
That is it. It's already been changed.
You go right to the executive
Okay.
session.
Look at this, okay. So, can I have a motion to pay bills?
whoa,
I think we're changing.
we're
You're
making
gonna change it
changes.
one to add for, Council Carter?
Okay.
And, you add in Country Club.
And the total would be?
The total is $298,334.29.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve payment of bills for $298, $334.25?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Haley's,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes.
Laurie,
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to open up the meeting for public comment for agenda items only?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to offer public comment on agenda items only, please come up, state your name and address. Seeing no hands, a motion to close public comment? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Name and address.
Is that on?
Name and address.
Is the microphone on, or can you tell if it's on, Ken, over here?
Concerning Chief Hummer,
There.
a,
Can you state your name and address, please?
James McDonald, 1130 Grand Street, Washington, New Jersey. I'm here as the president of the Warren County Police Association. I'm going to be very brief and just say that I've been authorized by the State Chiefs Association to say that Chief Hummer has the full support. Also to advise him not to make any statements tonight, as he does have counsel. I was quite taken aback when we left the room immediately following the executive session. I heard some of the comments being made on the dais and the laughter. I mean, we're talking about a man's career here. I don't find any humor in that at all. He was ordered by the prosecutor that until the court hearing was done, he was to do nothing. He takes orders from the prosecutor. We all do. So I think the clock stops after the judge, or starts, I should say, after the judge made his decision, which is also probably going to be challenged. You can't start the clock back in April or whenever it was that you signed the agreement with Officer Stopoulos. In talking to Chief Hummer for the last couple of months, we've been following this very closely. His only concern during that entire time was the safety of Officer Stopoulos, the safety of the other officers in the township, and the liability that could happen if you were to put an officer out on the road that he didn't think was thoroughly trained. That was his concern. I applaud him for that. That is one of the concerns of the chief. We want to make sure that we don't put anyone out there with excessive liability, or that put in the future cost the township tons of money. If I were an officer who had been out of work for a while, came back to work, and I'm not speaking about Officer Stopoulos, I'm talking about any officer, and I was put back on the road immediately, and I got into a situation where I had to use force, I had to use my firearm, something of that nature. The first thing that would happen if I did it wrong, I would come back to the township and say, you didn't train me. That was the concern of Chief Hummer, and why he's being literally harassed for the last several months in reference to this issue. I really don't understand. But again, Chief Hummer's not going to make any comments tonight in reference to this, and he has made legal adjustments. Any questions?
Although I missed the first part of the meeting this night, I don't understand what is possibly going on with Chief Hunter. But I'd like to remind you that he has been nothing but an extremely dedicated service to the residents of Greenwich Township. Constantly, he has done nothing but help the residents, help the squad, help the fire department, help this entire community in any way, shape, or form that he can. The constant attacks against the police department and police officers, the officers that risk their lives for our residents, it's ridiculous. You guys have done nothing but attack the police department the entire year. Why are you doing this? Why are you continuously taking away a little bit of services that we have, and the one that we do, you damage it? We ask that you support the officers in what they do. They love to protect and serve. Why can't you just support them in what they do? We're going to have a happier police department, a more productive police department. Chief Hummer has been a friend, a outstanding police officer, outstanding police chief, and why the Township Committee would continue to go after him, it makes no sense to me. But I think you guys really need to look at yourself and look at the department as a whole and see how well it works, and realize that what you have here is an outstanding chief, and you continue saying it not matter. Thank you.
Burn 104 Birch Lane. Much like Gary, I missed the initial part of the meeting, primarily because there was no agenda posted on the township website for tonight. And the one that was posted on the bulletin board said the public portion of the meeting started at 7:30. I understand that Chief Hummer requested that his rights notice hearing be held publicly rather than in executive session. But rather than moving it to the public session, as your agenda states, should start at 7:50, you chose to start it early, before any of us knew that it was going to happen. So another secret session of the committee. I applaud you for your openness. I applaud you for your transparency. So now we're retaliating against the chief, are we, Mayor? I see lawsuits flying everywhere. I see retaliation against a police chief that's done nothing but good for this township. Meanwhile, we have insurance fraud by committee people. We have incompetence by the township attorney. Is that being investigated as well? I haven't seen anything. Haven't heard squat. Again, the situation stinks to high heaven. We have insurance fraud. We have potentially all kinds of things going on. And yet we retaliate against the whistleblowers. We retaliate against people trying to do their jobs. I'm ashamed of this township committee. All of you. I hope you can live with yourselves. Thank you.
Paul Bean, 417 North Main Street, Stewartsville. First, I'd like to show my support to Chief Hummer and the police department. I truly feel that this town council has disrespected the entire organization, particularly the chief. I also feel that continuing negotiations for the shared court services will have an impact on the community far-reaching to the taxpayers than the short-term once this court potentially was closed and moved. There are lots of things associated to bringing the court back should it ever find that it was profitable to bring it back that I'm sure this town council has overlooked.
Dan Perez, 624 South Main. I don't have as much to say as these people, they pretty much said it all. But what I will say is that I am here to support Chief Hummer. As mayor, we voted to get Chief Hummer up and bring this to Chief. I think this is nothing more as retaliation on your part, Mr. Mayor, because we didn't get the record that you were looking for, and now you're looking to come at it another way. And I'll also say this to you, Tom, I'm quite surprised that you, speaking that you come from a police background and your family with the job, all that stuff, that you would be a part of this sham that's going on. But it doesn't surprise me because you do nothing but yes man, Joe, for the past 2.5 years, voting only once against Joe Torriello, and that was by mistake. I can't believe that a person can write every single time for every single vote. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
Joe, what can I say? I am so appalled by the actions of the committee, and also appalled at the body language that we're experiencing right now. Of you personally, it's outrageous. I don't understand why there's a meeting announced. The open meeting is at 7:30. People arrive. You can see everyone out there that's planning to come and support the police chief. Yet another time you have a private meeting and circumvent what the taxpayers are here to support. The other thing that I'd like to say is, generally in this township we have a separation of duties as far as the attorney is concerned. Normally we have one person that's the township attorney and another person that's the labor attorney. I can understand why maybe you chose one to reduce costs. However, if you look at all the lawsuits, I can't imagine that we've reduced any costs. So there's no checks and balances. And I suppose, as far as you're concerned, you don't need checks and balances, Joe. This is for you, Joe. This is your action, and we have a wonderful police chief, a wonderful police department, and other support services, and all you do is keep retaliating against them. It's outrageous. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you really should rethink your direction.
Council, Dennis Riley, 189 Pequot Drive, Belvedere, Independence Township Chief of Police, Vice President of the Warren County Chiefs of Police Association. In listening to what was said this evening about Chief Hummer and his department, and listening to the attorney, Chief Hummer's responsibility to run the day-to-day operations of the police department is a huge undertaking. He does it well. He does it faithfully for the residents of the township, for his men, for the people that he serves. In order to do this, one of the things that happened in the last couple of months to Chief Hummer was that he lost his administrative assistant. So essentially, he had to take his first-line supervisor, the lieutenant, and remove him from the road, who is a trained police officer who has a certified ballistics vest and all the proper training to answer telephones, because there are calls that come into the police department on a regular basis that need to be answered, whether it be a non-emergency or a regular emergency where they dial the inside line as opposed to 911. That I don't understand. I know what happens in my department and in many others. And our administrative assistants are huge to keep the day-to-day operations running when we operate such small departments here in Warren County. In addition, some of his equipment, the computers were removed from his office, which he needs to utilize to run his department. It makes it difficult to do so without those computers there. And, you know, the job is hard enough, Mayor and Council. It really is. We serve many people. We follow many guidelines and laws in the state of New Jersey, both locally and the state. To take away those little things and to then hear what we heard tonight makes it that much harder. If I could impose upon you and your thoughts, look at what you have. A fine young man. I've known him for a long time. Been in law enforcement here in Warren County for 21 years. And he took the responsibility to lead this department, to serve the township of Greenwich, and to serve it well. I'm proud of him. Look around, you don't see that so often. Be happy with what you have, support with what you have. Because these are a good, fine bunch of young men who work long hours, serve your people that you also serve. Keep that in mind as you press on with your decision-making and continue with this process that you're doing this evening.
Anyone else wishing to make public comment?
Bill Canyon at Harlem Road was litigation. We had 3 issues here. What you guys are going to do is there's going to be a 4th one with the chief and his contract. My concern as a taxpayer, and I know the chief is perfectly capable of the job, is everything that he's going to be doing is going to be second best. So I think tomorrow morning I'm going to call the county prosecutor and ask that he takes over this case. You guys are not, you just can't run a police department. These are professionals, they belong to who runs the department. I will make that call tomorrow. The bill list was paid, and I'm sure the health insurance premium was paid. And I hope Elaine is off that bill. Excuse me. My question is the taxpayers of New Jersey still footing the bill via the COBRA plan that she's on that should have expired June of this year? Or is it going to be extended from the fraud she perpetrated in January? That's what needs to be discussed, as well as whether or not she fraudulently, as well as you, Joe, signing off on the bill list with her on that bill as insurance, residual insurance. It's something else that you should appreciate.
Anyone else wishing to make public comment?
Jim has 220 Water Tower Road, Schoolsville, New Jersey. I'm not going to bring up my old topic that I've been bringing up for 5 years down here. But I'd like to support the chief myself. I've been out to my house when I had problems with a neighbor. I had never seen a police officer so professional in my life as him. And he came out to my house, and I back him 100%. So these people better do something about it.
Anyone else? Seeing no hands, a motion to close public comment?
Make a motion.
No, second.
All those in favor? Aye. Tim, you want to discuss the bill list format?
Yeah, what you have in your packets, if you look for the new bill list format, give a little demo.
7.
Tab 7, thank you. So what you have here is a little different format. The information is the same as on the bill list that we normally get. What you see is a list of PO numbers, individuals who are getting the money and the dollar amounts. What this bill list helps us understand, it gives a little bit of better transparency into the financial inner workings of the township, and you get an understanding right out of the gate. You can see, all right, these are the departments, whether it be municipal clerk, finance administration, tax collection, tax assessor, building, police, legal, whatever it may be. You see the actual bills that are being billed to those departments.
Right. And these are tagged to the sub,
Yes.
lines on the budget, right?
Yeah, so everything's tagged there. You have the same summary as the back, which is basically just summarizing by fund, current fund. You got the other trusts that are there, like recreation, open space, the escrows. You have sewer. Everything is, from a summary perspective, is consistent with the prior bill list. What this bill list helps us do is basically increases the transparency into the financial transactions, so we can minimize the issues at the end of the year. Any questions on them, or?
No, I just, I like it. It's different, so you always have to get used to it. Where
That's
everything
usually
is.
each area where.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of repeated information, like current fund, general government functions, normally you don't see those. You just see legal, and then you have the legal department summarized, you got the clerk department summarized. And basically, the budgets that we approved at the beginning of the year, these are those buckets, and how they show.
And this is generated from the admin system, right?
Directly out of the system, there is no interpretation in Excel or anything like that.
You can run reports out of it by cost center?
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And what we normally don't see, but we will be seeing for the rest of the year, I have in my hand, I want to hand it out to you guys. All right? The format will look familiar, but again, it complements what's in Edmonds. I don't know if this is it's one whole thing. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Kim, I'll get yours, but this is another report, not expecting you to take all this in right now, but this is where we are at with each department. So we start with admin and executive O&E, operating expenses, all right? You see the first line, advertising, okay, well, what does this one mean? Well, look all the way up to the right, we're 51% used up in that accounting bucket.
That was that was what I was going to ask about this, but
Yeah, you can't read, you got to read both together. The bill list is just, hey, in this moment of time, this is what we're billing. This shows you where are we at for each department. Where is their spend? You're going to see this at every meeting. We haven't had it because the budget was in, before it gets approved, this is meaningless. Now that it's approved, take a look at it, you'll understand, okay, we should be 50% spend on departments that have, repeatable expenses throughout the year. There are one-time departments that we spend it all, like insurance, we spend it all in February, so that thing's already at 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
It's covered for them.
Okay. So if you guys got any comments, I got that for the general and the sewer as well. Well, I knew you would. You take this and pass it down. This is just one page. One page each. And this is the sewer utility fund, so you can see, same report as the previous one. The sewer's just kept a different, it's its own fund, just like the,
Yeah, this is good.
all right? So we'll be seeing the new bill list format moving forward. All right, if you guys got questions or want to see things differently or have, different queries, run them by myself or Elaine and we'll get you a particular report right directly out of the admin system. And then you'll be seeing, the abbreviated detailed budget account status report, which basically shows us where our spend is and how much we got left.
very good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you got it. It's a lot to absorb right now, it's just put in front of you, but let me know or let me know.
Thanks. Tim, I'm looking for my agenda item, the COA. I don't see Beth's proposed comment to the COA rules. I know it was circulated to everybody, but I don't see a copy. I don't see a copy of it here. Did everybody see that?
I saw the email.
Okay. Basically, in January, at a reorg meeting, we kind of anticipated that the Supreme Court might be issuing this decision regarding COA, and they did. And, because we were proactive in January, we had reactivated the subcommittee, the COA task force, who, working with our professionals, looked at the proposed rules and worked together with the professionals and members of our land use board to offer comments. Municipality doesn't have to offer a comment, but it is suggested by John Drill that this might be an opportunity to, if we see any deficiencies, to weigh in on it before they're ultimately adopted, because there's a process where before they're promulgated, they're looking for feedback, right, Michael? So what was circulated was the comments that were the culmination of the task force discussions input from the professionals, and then listing each of the applicable rules and where, our professionals thought they might, sometimes it's just asking a question for clarification. It's not necessarily offering a recommended change to the language, but, in other instances, it is. So that's what was circulated. If anybody needs a copy, you can have him reprint it now. But what the ask tonight is for this township committee to authorize me to sign the draft letter that was prepared by our professional and to submit it for consideration on behalf of Greenwich Township.
It's important, Joe, not to interrupt, but the comments need to be submitted by, is it the end of this month?
Yes,
Correct. Hence
correct.
Yes,
it has to happen. It has to happen now.
to take action and at tonight's meeting.
Correct.
So we'll make a motion for you to sign that. Yes.
Second. Comment? Roll call?
Haley's,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes.
Clary,
Yes.
Coriello.
Yes.
That's all I had.
You have a couple items that are not, Joe actually not here for we're going to strike the hazard mitigation programs, the letter's not here. to
Table
refer
it
to.
to August.
We're going to table it.
Yeah, and we'll table the open space. And we got one. For fire department, I make a motion to add junior firefighter Jack Donnelly.
I'll second it. Comment? Roll call?
Haley's,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes.
Clary, Coriello.
Yes.
It's Community Day. Go.
We'll do it together, I guess. One of the things that we did notice was that it's Community Day, we need to change the date, it's the fourth Saturday of the month, the 27th, with the rain date being the 28th. We are in the process, Kim, do you have any numbers of knowing what our budget
Budget set at what, 4,500?
Yes, but that's not including what we fundraise.
What you're going to fundraise. The rides are close to $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000 for the rides. The ponies are $800 to $900, and the band we usually pay anywhere from $500 to $800. So those are the three things there. And then the prices for the tents are approximately $2,000 for the tents. And then everything else is, and of course you have your overtime for DPW, but that's it.
I think we can comment between the fundraising.
Yeah, as I indicated the last meeting, I think I would like to see this, this event driven by private funds to the extent possible.
Yes. So whatever we
That's most
fundraise, that would be the
appropriate
first where we would be taking it out of the profit.
I would say that would be our budget, whatever the private is,
Okay.
to the extent possible.
So are we need to know, the vendor list has already been given to Kim, the maps have already been given to Kim. We know that we are not doing a parade.
No.
No
And,
parade.
what time is it open, 1?
It usually starts at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Mhm.
1 to dusk, is it?
1 to 6.
Okay, so most what we do know is that this will be driven on the website. We know that all the volunteer forms and all the forms with participating sponsors will all be done via the website, the webpage that will be dedicated strictly to Community Day. So future meetings, we will be having in early September for the participants to actually, probably the first week of September,
Yeah.
September
We'll have the meeting and organize
Are
everything.
we going to work on an online form?
We're just-
Yes, it's all template.
I'm just trying to get a
So
band.
the September date will be, a volunteering. That's all I have. We see have that much.
And then we have the action item, do we have to do the Department of Health now? Or do we have to do-
No, they have to do that.
There'll be a
Food
form
vendors
that-
individually have to do that.
The vendors are doing it, the vendors are doing it.
That'll be the first thing that'll be handed out to them
Part of the package.
at the meeting.
It should be online, so they can download it. So we something.
Oh, well, yeah, we could do that
Yeah,
too.
that we need to know, get it done, the quicker the better.
And we should make sure we get a copy of whatever needs to happen
Yes.
next up, police, to make sure that they're not just guessing, but they're actually doing it,
Yes.
and for our own records.
All right, so it's going to be the 27th?
27th, yeah. Maybe 20.
Yeah, this looks good.
Beginning of, so we could get it in exact.
And then the PO show for police department, line items, Kim, follow it up with,
Ready for this one? Okay. I talked with Cheryl from Piosha. We have some deadlines here. Mike is going to jump in on this when we get to the portion regarding the venting system. The reports, the A300 reports, and I'm going to be working on them with the insurance company, with Beth from the insurance company, so I have to get those. I'm going to be working with the chief on the air quality plan for the department. There's a model plan from NJDEP that I'm going to download, and I spoke with her, and working on with that, and we'll probably talk with Mike on just some various things that, to make sure he reviews it, to make sure we don't miss anything to put together this plan. The tiles, that was one of the issues, the tiles, ceiling tiles, I had DPW take care of that right away, so that's done. The one thing that was addressed is the CO is high down there, and the intake, I spoke with chief, fire chief, the intake, the air intake is on the side of the building here, and what was noticed was all of the police vehicles on the side here, if they leave them running, and it's sucking in the carbon thing. So that's something we're going to have to address with the chief about. I don't know how we're going to do this, but the cars can't be running outside there because it's sucking it all in once we get the new system in.
as part of the new system, is that the one you're working on?
We're going to be
with?
putting a new, a whole new
Reroute that.
air filtration system. The venting system. Yeah,
Sure,
which is...
Was it anything like what we did in the firehouse years ago? Remember we did that big one in the middle of the firehouse? Maybe not.
That the fire company had a grant for, I think we did.
That was a much grander scale, and I think, you had vehicles inside the building.
Yeah.
This is
So
different.
this would be a little
This
less.
is more that you're in a basement with stale air that just doesn't move. This is more of just moving air in and out, moving fresh air in and so forth.
So Mike, you have any update as to what we're doing here with the vending system?
Well, this is the update that I will give. Last month, the idea, the motion was to have me work with an HVAC contractor and put some quotes together and get some prices. It's a local HVAC contractor who's obviously looked at the facility already, who I talked to. He was going to try and put some specs together, because obviously the equipment in question is something that I'm not really familiar with. I'm not an HVAC guy. Then he was a little uncertain of exactly the level of equipment, because clearly we don't need to put in, a casino quality air circulation system. He was in the process of trying to get some specs from an MEP consultant. The long and short of it, then when I saw the POSHA letter that came in the other day, I inquired, and I don't know if, and I talked to Frank about it earlier, and it appears that he didn't receive my email, is if we could potentially just authorize the installation of this work on a more of an emergent basis, as opposed to seeking quotes. And again, when I walked in, I had literally about 30 seconds to talk, so I don't want to put Frank on the spot here either for him to check it out. But that would be my first thought and even recommendation. You have a local contractor, you have a fellow that's capable of doing the work, who's clearly going to do it for a fair price, address the issue. We're under the gun a little bit to comply. But again, I don't know if we can proceed that way from the public contract standpoint. That's my question.
It's an emergency thing, isn't it?
I think it's, that, and you have the fines hanging over your head, it's an emergent basis.
Yeah.
When's the deadline?
There's various
There's
ones.
different deadlines.
There's one in July, and there's one August 11th, but I did speak with Cheryl, and we also have to, on some of these items here, we have to give her an update, and we can also ask for an extension on some of the things. So when it gets to that point, I'm going to, if we can authorize Frank to draft up something to help me with the extension. So we have the paperwork to fill out for the
We should
extension.
formulate an action.
Yeah, we're going to do an action plan with her, and I told her we were going to talk about it at the meeting tonight, and I was going to get back with her either tomorrow or Monday, and let her know where we stand with...
Mike will be involved in the action plan as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, if I say to her that the committee authorized, the contractor to move forward with the installation, because it's an emergent basis, or something to that effect, that, what are we doing here? We have to take some sort of action here, that we're doing something with the air system.
So we're going to authorize what?
How much money do you think? Up to?
The gentleman I'm speaking of is Rufus Arnold. Certainly not. He lives on Iron Wolf Road. He estimated $8, $10, maybe $12,000. So, but clearly it was under the bid threshold. But it's still a decent chunk of change. And please don't quote me on that, because he was kind of going off the top of his head, equipment that he was familiar with and what he thought. It's not like he could cross-reference the exact model number to a supply, to a vendor, and got a number. So,
Do we ask him to do a draft plan and actually quote it out?
yeah, I'd ask him.
Okay, where is he with that? So, I don't know how long.
Well, when I saw the letter the other day, I said, we need to move this along.
And what was his response?
Just like, I know I'm going to try and get it formalized ASAP. So, I did speak with him before tonight's meeting.
So the ask tonight is what? To have a motion for, are we gonna designate him, or are we gonna designate a professional to oversee this?
I would designate Mike to oversee it.
Because it matters to me, and I'm gonna say this on the record only because Lou Fasano was a neighbor of mine. Lou Fasano was a contractor that I hired to replace the HVAC system in my home. So if the vote is going to be on Lou, I'd like to recuse myself from the vote.
Okay.
Is what I'm
So
saying.
can we
Even though,
authorize...
there's not a technical
realize that.
conflict, but, he's somebody that I hired, so I think I would like to just not be part of the vote.
So if we authorize, if we just not even name a contractor, authorize Mike, you have, you will get a qualified contractor, authorize him up to, what, $12,000?
That was the high. That was the high.
12.5. I mean,
All right, 12.5 to, do this, and,
Those are the only punch list items for that right now.
I'll still recuse now.
Yeah, that is the big one. That is the one that we, once that is taken care of, the rest are reports and a plan that needs to get done, and, I got the tiles done, so, but, that is the biggest one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Make the motion, Mike.
Okay.
To oversee the HVAC
portion of the dealership budget.
Exactly.
I'll second.
At a
Comment.
cost not to exceed.
The cost not to exceed 12.5.
Comment? Roll call?
Bailey's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Freeland?
Abstain. Did it, Tom, for you? Jim?
Yeah, okay, so on the Environmental Commission, two things here I wanted to, regarding the, one is regarding the leaf pickup program. So we met with the Environmental Commission, they were here earlier, for those of you. We're looking into providing additional services to the residents through our existing grants that we have. One in particular is the Clean Communities Grant. And what we want to explore after discussions with the Environmental Commission is leaf program, branch pickup program, grass type program, grass pickup programs. But we need to get off the ground, and I think, Frank, in terms of what we need to do from a process standpoint, I wanted to look to you guys to get some ideas in terms of providing requests for information to our existing service providers. I think we have like 5 refuse companies that are here that have the proper certifications and insurances and all of that jazz. Is there something that can be drafted up so that we can get information back from those companies regarding the services that they provide?
Put something together and send it out to the
Would
companies.
that be like a bid, or would it be
No,
something would be more of an outline, like an RFQ of what we would need?
Well, I think we'd send them a letter first, number one, if they'd be interested in doing it, if they can do it, and what their ideas were, being that it's clean community money, it's basically grant money that we're using, not taxpayer money. So, yeah, we could gauge interest first and then decide if we're going to do the RFQ or how we're going to do it for the grant expenditure.
As we're getting close to fall, we need to right, Jim?
Yeah. Well, we need to act on it, and you know what, we're looking at it from a whole end-to-end process. You got grass collection during the summer, you got leaf branch pickup in the fall, you got Christmas tree, which is currently happening down here. Can we expand that so?
Maybe we start with this and then just implement, right?
We're going to take incremental steps here, but what I would like to have is a motion to authorize Frank to draft a letter so that we can request information of our service providers for Environmental Commission's use of leaf pickup and additional services to the residents.
I'll make that motion. Comment? Roll call?
Bailey's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
All right, second is just the horizontal sheet of paper that I handed out. This is the culmination. We discussed this, I think, back in the in the May meeting. And this is the actual verbiage here. So it's let's keep Greenwich. I'm looking for an approval here to put this in the Greenwich Gazette. For volunteer groups to clean up our town can earn up to $500. The state of New Jersey has awarded Greenwich Township a grant through the Clean Communities Entitlement Program to fund litter cleanup and removal. Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church groups, school and civic groups all encouraged to participate. We can contribute up to $500 to their organizations for approved events, locations, and/or roadway miles. As you know, I believe one has already taken advantage of this. One of the Boy Scout groups. Fill out the form, and the vertical one, the portrait one, is the same form.
We don't have it.
The form looks for the organization's name, and it makes a request to provide the proof of liability insurance.
I would just add the language naming Greenwich Township as a lost payee.
We need the form. Don't have anything.
Naming Greenwich Township as a lost payee. right, Frank, or you prefer other language? Whereas a named insured, either or. But just because they have liability insurance, I don't think it's enough. I think they need to include Greenwich.
You can add that. That's not...
I put it up? I mean, we're in the final copy, Pastor, and that's the form on the web.
Yeah,
Usually for any type of business that comes
Didn't
around.
didn't we do a general statement to put with things like this? We were going to set the minimums required and use it for things like this?
Just in general.
Oh, you saying do we want to do that?
Yeah. So you'll wordsmith it, you'll add the appropriate
Dollar amount.
You can get back to me, Frank, and then we'll make it fun. Sure. So, can I have a motion to approve the Greenwich Gazette ad and subsequent web page based upon attorney review?
and including the amendments discussed.
And including the amendments discussed for the Greenwich Green and Clean efforts by the environmental professionals.
I'll make,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Comment? Roll call?
Bailey's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Clary?
Yeah.
Trailer?
Yes.
Okay. Service Electric one-year contract on tab 9. You will find what we have done, Frank, in I think it was May. We went back and got the 3-year contract reduced to 1 year. The savings is still included in that. Basically represents about a 44% savings over what we're paying today. All right. This is,
Only increases the $25 to $100 line fee, whatever.
Line provision.
Yeah, that's a one-time
Right.
fee, not for life.
That's something that went up.
$25, that went up $75, so we knocked that off the first month's savings. But the bottom line is, in 36 months, we're going to be saving $16,308. We go from a current rate of $1,030 per month. We'll be saving approximately $453 per month. So this is a 1-year contract. I'll make a motion to,
Is this for what?
this is for phone, internet, and long distance.
Yes.
Yeah. Replacing Verizon and AT&T.
This is basically the thing that I had mentioned.
Well, this is a 1-year contract, and this is for,
This is a whole,
this is for internet, phone, it's the
Yeah.
whole,
No, we were investigating all of these different companies,
Okay,
and we
but-
came up with Service Electric.
But this is in place of what I had mentioned.
Yeah, because what you had
Yeah,
mentioned was a
right.
third-party provider.
Okay.
Oh, that's
We would
right,
have
yeah.
still kept Verizon, but there would have been a third-party provider, and we would have got a
Yeah, there would have
discount
been
for that.
someone in between.
This is
Also.
dropping
I just wanna
Verizon,
say,
AT&T.
Okay, this is like direct.
Yeah,
Talking
this is
to,
direct.
Cool. I guess
the service here, so this is really,
Okay, so Jim made the motion, who seconded it? I did. Elaine?
Elaine made the motion?
No, Jim did, and Elaine seconded.
Comment? Roll call?
Mhm. Bailey's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Clary?
Yes.
Trailer?
Yes.
in working this, I want to thank Kim for doing a lot of legwork here. Kim,
That's
Frank,
it.
how do we,
I'll take care of it all, because I'm going to be meeting with him.
okay, when
With
will this
Matt.
be in place, from a financial perspective?
Lickety split.
That really didn't answer the question.
Never does.
Let me talk with him, let me set up a meeting with, I'll call him tomorrow, I'll set up a meeting, and I will send out a mass email to everybody when we go online. I'll
I
shoot
think the
for,
motion mentioned
I will
July
shoot,
30th.
okay, yeah, so I will shoot for August 1st, I saw that.
Glacial Energy, this is just an update. I haven't, I've asked Lorraine, if you notice, our electrical usage is hitting like 60 to 70% usage. There was some huge increases earlier this year. We've been dealing with Glacial since 2009. They basically give us a reduced rate on the delivery or the supply portion of our electric bill. I've asked them for a fixed rate versus a variable rate. We're not done with the analysis. When we are, we'll take a look at that. Last item is dual computing contract. So we approved the technology ordinance in the June meeting. First and second readings are done. This is tab also 9. It's after the service electric stuff. What this is giving us is a service agreement with Dual Computing. Okay, so we have a technology services agreement, which is going to be administered by Kim. So all of the technology issues that are popping up around the township can be funneled through Kim and into Dual Computing. Okay, this would replace our current pay-as-you-go program. All right, Kim, help me here with you just covered.
Okay, so we have the contract here, so the contract, as our provider here, so we would need a motion to approve the contract, and then we have...
Has Frank reviewed this already?
Yes, you did.
Jewel?
You didn't review
You haven't done the Jewel?
No.
Not the contract, probably was.
I saw the proposal, but you have it on the contract.
Okay, so you did the computers, not the contract.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it subject to review and
Subject
approval.
to review.
Okay, we'll approve it subject to review.
So we'll do the service contract subject to review and approval
Yes.
by the attorney.
Okay.
This is a set cost, or is this a...
The cost is,
His rates, his usual
yeah,
rates.
it's 1,000. I'm looking for the page number.
It's paragraph.
Well, yeah.
So the contract is on the out.
It comes to about $1,000 a month with a $1,000 sign-on bonus,
For the maintenance contract. This is for,
plus 99 per hour of service
Mhm.
over 5 hours.
yeah,
AJ.
And every department goes through you for request.
right, and this is for the server.
For the server.
This is for the server. Make that known. It's not that we just have somebody here for $1,000 a month.
Yes, for the server.
The cloud, the server. He's maintaining it. Okay.
Yes, he's maintaining all
Yes.
of, yes, all of the break fix, all of the incidents, all of the repairs, all of the patch fixes for not only
And
the
backups.
servers, the individual machines, the backups, the off-site backup and management of everything, and the additional security and wireless network.
Right. Okay, so, motion to approve this contract pending attorney review.
I'll make a motion.
I will second. Comment.
How does this compare to what we're spending now?
We're not spending anything now,
Or last
because
year?
we don't have a server.
Well, yeah.
And,
Yeah, this is
and,
not, this is not a main, this is for an actual server. This is getting something that we don't have.
Oh, well, we have the server.
Yeah, this is giving us our own server and our own, our backup.
This includes the backup?
Yes.
So the backup is included in this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And off-site.
So that
So there's no
backup-
issue with
Yeah,
a
there's no disk.
drive burned or...
There's no drive.
It's included with this.
You know, we shut it down,
Right.
save on electricity costs.
The backup is included in this price?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sounds
So,
good.
okay, Lane made the motion, Jim seconded, roll call.
Any other
Haley?
comment? Roll call.
Haley's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
Now, Jim, you have those quotes then next.
Yeah,
Now-
I'm looking for the overall.
Okay, you're gonna have to, go through these and just,
You want me to do them, all right, well,
if you wanna do them separately, because there is the one there that, you're gonna need to make a
Amend.
decision. And
all
that's
right,
that
so
last one.
we have the 6908.
Yeah, 6908, and requires the deposit. So,
These are the desktops,
yep,
the backup systems, and the office suite. So I'll make a motion to approve the first quote, the amount of $6,908.56, covering the desktop computer upgrades and backups.
they made the motion. Second?
I'll second.
Second, Tom?
Comment?
Roll call.
Haley's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Twillo?
Yes. The second quote, and just recall, this is all being bundled against the ordinance that we did for capital.
Right.
This is not, this is the only way we could have done it. So, the second quote, I'll make a motion to approve the dual quote in the amount of $3,168
What do you say on that one?
for the purchase of a server and accessories. I'm sorry,
You're missing
4,000.
one.
I was on the other page.
Yeah, it's quote 1020 for 4214.
Yeah, 4214.96.
All right, so Jimmy made that motion. Second. Okay.
Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Lori?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
So I got that one. And the next one's the 3168.
Make another motion for dual computing, quote 1060, in the amount of $3,168 to upgrade the existing Cody server that the police department has, migrate the current functions and data of the police server to upgrade the Cody server.
Make a motion.
Second. Comment. Roll call.
Bailey's?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Lori?
Yes.
Freeland?
Yes.
Now, this last one, that's a decision the committee's going to take. If you add them up, this one here takes it over to 20.
Yeah.
And this is for the
License
license.
plate reader?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll table this one until we have a discussion in terms of what we're going to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll table that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right? And, I'm done.
Okay, Angela?
Okay, I just have a little bit on the economic, I've been just reaching out to the chamber, to LinkedIn, and passing out our literature. The County Economic Commission is going to be at the Farmers Fair, and they'll be passing out our literature there at their table. I went to the last meeting, and probably the most important thing is, since this is a public meeting, I feel comfortable saying this, there was an announcement that probably is going to change if this happens, it's probably going to change the whole county as far as economic development. Patchogue and Phillipsburg, there's a company that's 80% chance coming into the Ingersoll Rand location. We're talking about 1,600 jobs. And if that happens, it's going to change the whole county. It's probably going to affect us quite a bit. And it's really exciting. So if that happens, and probably going to be the next couple of months. So I can see where that's going to really, and we're talking about, obviously, 1,600 jobs. It's going to be at every level. So, obviously, the Phillipsburg Mall is going to be affected, and any development that we have in this town could be affected as well. So I think we'll be hearing about that pretty soon. So,
Do you know who?
well, obviously,
You don't
at this
know that.
point,
Not
it's not that, but it's, the statement was made that they're 80% there. So basically that's
Use the jobs.
that's everything that I have.
Okay. Elaine, do you want to add anything?
No, it's just that I wanted to just the community day.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Frank, did you have anything?
No.
Mike, anything?
Yeah, there's actually a few things that we need to give you quick on. Okay. First item, which is actually not my report. This relates to the award done at last month's meeting to Chapman Inc. for the O&M contract for our sewer system. Again, letter was sent out to Chapman, and I'm in the process of scheduling a kickoff meeting with them and Joe Pryor, of course, and just kind of start, because it's a new company that we've never dealt with.
Can you include me in that meeting, Mike?
Actually, Elaine, I think I copied you on the email that went out. Okay, so I
don't know if
haven't...
I responded to
Yeah, well, I really think Joe is clearly, so he has to respond to that. So, the agreements have been signed by Chapman, but they need, obviously, execution by the mayor and by the clerk. So, what I would ask tonight, and I guess you could make a motion to authorize the mayor and clerk to sign. I mean, the contract's been awarded, so it's just a formality. But if I can pass these off, Joe, if you could sign it, a page each one. Obviously, I will then send one to Chapman. You'll keep one here, and it'll be page 20.
Just to formalize, do I have a motion authorizing me to sign the contract that was awarded?
I'll make the motion.
I will second the comment. Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Flurry?
Yes.
Torriello?
Yes.
And if this means anything, which it really doesn't, these folks seem very excited, and they seem that they're really looking forward to starting the work. Okay, I turned it on 20. Oh, okay. The I&I RFP that Brent and Brent's office, Brent and our office, Ms. Dawson from our office is really kind of heading it up, have been back and forth. I think as of yesterday, Brent gave his final blessing to the RFP, so it's pretty much ready to go. It's really now kind of in Brent's court, literally as of yesterday, day before. Okay. Something quick. Dumont Road, this is in my report. Here's a reduced copy of the plans. We are 95% done with all the work. Obviously, still got to finish up the spec and put it out to bid. I would request that you entertain a motion to authorize our office to put Dumont Road project, resurfacing project out to bid. This is the grant we got last year. But numbers are off. Everything's in place to proceed. Any questions?
I do. Over the grant money, 60,000, is it 60,000 we have placed in capital for that? Okay.
Yeah, that was actually funded last year. This was the award that we were notified on it last year, so.
Right, and that work has been done yet, so, okay.
So I would hope if things go the way I'm hoping they do, we will have it out to bid, and we will open the bid, and I will be able to make an award recommendation next month. If that, things got to line up and work out perfect, but it's possible. So.
Motion?
What was the estimate for the above grant?
The dollars for the project or for the grant?
For above the grant.
60,000.
60,000 in capital for the over the grant amount.
Okay. If you, Jim, if you look at we haven't been able to do now. Item 19 in my report. It kind of sums up.
Hey, Mike, on that project, I know it's a little bit early in the scope, but when will you be doing the resurfacing? What hours?
It will be,
We're going to have to...
right now it's a daytime job.
It's a daytime job, and how it will affect, will impede local businesses, things like that, we're going to answer those questions.
Well,
Access side entry to Home Depot.
there will be, clearly, that will need to remain open. The way we have the traffic control set up right now is that one lane of traffic will obviously need to remain open. The best case is to close the road from a construction standpoint. We're not closing Dumont Road. So it will be, you know, your typical, we're not gonna have temporary traffic signals or anything like that. It'll be flagmen and maybe police and so forth. So, that's, again, that's
Yeah, we'll have to...
potentially gonna be a
Right,
big ticket item in the bid, actually.
Right.
Traffic control, a job like this ends up costing a lot of money. So, that's one thing that I always, like, cross my fingers that, you know, it's not too bad.
The project scopes go out to the police chief and everybody, homeowners association for Greenwich Chase, all that stuff, why not? We do a communication package?
Not to, no offense, Angela, not to Greenwich Chase Homeowners Association.
Okay.
To be honest, I wouldn't even...
I'm asking the question, do we want to do that proactively?
Well, we...
Being that they're the only ones bordering that project, do we want to do something like that, Joe, where we drop something in the middle?
I think
We're on the website.
We're getting more than 1,000 hits a week on our website, so we could put it on there.
Conduit.
Right, exactly.
I just want to make sure that
Did you make a motion? Oh, okay. We're done with questions? Okay. That is wrong? Yes, that's okay.
So I'll make a motion for Mike to go out, so, what do you say, Mike? Advertising?
Yeah, just put to authorize to go out to bid.
I'll second.
Comment. Roll call.
Haley?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Laurie?
Yes.
Triolo?
Yes.
All right, item... Sorry. Where is it? Item 11, which is the WNP, item in our report. The last bullet talks about us township, needing to respond to a question from the DEP relative to a grant application we made last year. Well, coincidentally, that response was actually sent today by me, to copy, I think, to the sewer sub, did everybody in the township committee get it? I mean, I certainly sent it to everybody. I think I might have just sent it to the sewer subcommittee because it's wastewater. In any event, the response went out. So, we will see what they say. This was the $35,000 grant that we applied for purposes of furthering the WMP. So that is out. And I will make sure it didn't go to everybody that it does. And lastly, is North and South Main Street signage, pavement marking, the speed deterrent improvements that we are proposing, now finally have county approval on. We got the letter from the county literally the day of last month's meeting. You guys got it, or most of you didn't even see it before the meeting. I sent it again. There's a couple things we need to do, assuming you want to still move forward with this, which I think you do. There's a resolution that we need to adopt, that there is a sample given, and we need to understand our responsibilities. When I say that, the responsibilities I'm referring to include the following. All signs and pavement markings will need to be purchased by us and installed by us. And the pavement markings need to be maintained by us. The county will agree to maintain the signage. Now, we're paying the upfront money, and in essence, they're inheriting the
What's the
sign.
maintenance consist of?
Well, the maintenance for a sign is very, very...
No, that's their responsibility. You said on...
The pavement markings?
Yeah.
Probably have to be redone once every, I'd say, 2 years now. You use good epoxy paint, not the latex stuff, but then it'd be once a year. They are not in the business of, they're allowing us to paint their road but they're not in the business of upgrading those type of markings. So that's in essence what the resolution says. And it puts on the record what we're agreeing to. So, Kim, did you get the copy of the resolution?
I don't think so. I mean, I can go back and look.
So you
Was
want
it
to give that to
recently?
Frank and to Kim?
Was it recently? It would have been good if we would have had this for tonight. I mean, I could go back and look, and I could look up a resolution if we approve it tonight.
To be honest with you, I sent it as an attachment with my engineer's report, because it came last month and I wanted to send it again.
Okay.
So it came to everybody Monday afternoon, because I know I got my report out Monday afternoon. And
I mean, if you guys are in a rush for this, once we get done with all this, if we just take a 5-minute break, I could just take it and clean it up and do it. I mean, how long do you want to wait till August to adopt this resolution, or do you want to move with it tonight?
Just give it to Frank, put it on the agenda for
Next month? Okay.
Let him review it.
I
Okay.
printed it, I don't see it.
Okay.
This is the second.
That's fine.
okay.
No, we're going to,
That's it.
August
We're
meeting.
gonna wait till...
August meeting.
You're fine, okay.
Right? Lynn, how long do we have to wait for them to, do we know in advance when they're gonna do these signs, or?
Oh, Lindy?
Yeah.
I haven't heard, and I've obviously been talking to the county guys. I'll check into it. I don't know where that stands. I mean, part of the Lindy stuff was with Lindy, relative to their sign.
Right.
But the other signs on Greenwich Street, that was the county was doing, and I don't...
I mean, is there a certain time frame that they normally take to do these things? I mean, is there a point where we should say,
We're at that point.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable question. With the Lindy, that's a...
I mean, it's been,
Lindy actually is the last thing in my report. We met May 2nd. Oh, so it's not that long ago. Well, I would have thought it was longer than that. Field meeting occurred on May 2nd. Oh, so that's only... Well, that was longer than that. But I can still... I mean, I know the county pretty well.
get an idea from them, you know,
Yeah.
is it gonna be another 2 months, is it gonna be another 3 months?
Okay. Has anybody heard anything from Lindy as far as any more complaints or what's going on? Okay. I think the Lindy people are probably the like the county guys, because they were at the meeting, exchanged business cards. And they realized that it's their jurisdiction, not really ours. So I can see them just going right to the local council.
Oh, they might be talking about, okay.
That's it. Just,
So I have one question.
Oh, sure.
About the speed sign for the crossing before school starts. What are we doing?
well,
Where
I'll
are
speak
we?
for, I'm doing nothing.
I'm doing that.
Okay.
Got the credit app in, and they're going over that, and we're placing the order for the battery.
Isn't it something to do with the people who actually installed it, which wasn't our people at all? That was, we had a company that installed that?
Well, yeah, because we put that project, that
Out
out
to
the bid.
bid.
There
Right.
was a
Our people
contractor
didn't-
that, yeah, right, there was a contractor that installed it.
But how,
But it's out of warranty.
Yeah.
it's out of
So-
warranty?
So we contacted the contractor, well, geez, that was probably a number of months ago now,
Yeah.
and we told him what the problem was. He said it's probably, he gave a few likely causes, and he kind of did like a troubleshooting, field troubleshooting priority, like do this first, do that second. That was relayed to the DPW,
Right.
who then,
David Smith.
yeah, who I think
Okay,
did the
so
work.
you made the decision that it was the battery.
Joe Maxey.
Joe
To my
Maxey.
knowledge, it was Joe Maxey.
Okay,
And
so,
based upon an email I got
Right.
from Joe,
They went out there.
What it was,
okay,
Joe.
so
Yeah.
if we get the battery and the battery comes in, which we've been waiting for the battery to be ordered apparently, and it's not the battery, are the people who installed that going to come out and do a check on that? Because
if
they
we
installed
are
it.
going to want to get paid, but
Well,
sure, that,
you know,
I mean,
it needs to be
absolutely.
done. It needs to be done, so all eyes on deck. It's been out since January.
It's been now, although
Yeah, I haven't
long-
had firsthand.
Yes.
Exactly. It should have been out, we should have had reports from somebody telling us within our township that it was out.
Okay, so Joe is following up that thing?
It's in my lap.
Okay.
I'm taking care of it.
Anybody else? Just, there's no action for,
I did have one thing on, regarding the purge and having Mike come in. I'm looking over here at
Right.
Kim.
Mhm.
Did we get did all that happen with the purge and the room downstairs with regard to the planning board documents?
Okay, the
Things of that
planning board
nature?
documents, Mike and I are still working on. There's a lot of maps. We've gone through a lot of the files already, but there's a lot more maps that we're working on. So far with the purge, we have, the assessor's items are out in the hallway there now. They're all set up. She's gonna go through her records, her filing cabinets and what she's got on top. And, we're finishing up the planning board items there. So we've moved everything down. The court has the first in the beginning area there, and then the rest, once I get, squared away, the rest of it with Mike, then we'll,
Have you
finish
been
up.
in there,
And Eloise.
Mike?
No, and all, to be fair, the reason it probably isn't done is right here. Is Kim has inquired on a couple of occasions with me to schedule time, and when it worked for her, it didn't work for me. So, we need to reschedule it when it fits for both. No, but I know what.
We're gonna give you a happy new year.
We're dealing with it. Yeah, it's not a...
It's a,
You need manpower, that's what
I'm saying, you know, if you you guys wanna coordinate a date, make it available to us, we can come in and help, you know, what we're doing is moving old stuff. You know, old copies of documents that are taken
Things
up.
that we're gonna keep are gonna go up the old school. I've already spoke with the DPW foreman once, and that's who I've been working with is, things that we're keeping, we're putting up at the old
For
school.
the purge, I think that's really kind of what I'm being asked to do. That's what I assume I'm being asked to do, is to go look at the old stuff. And you probably have multiple copies of
We
a
do.
lot of plans that are
We do.
completely unnecessary. You
Exactly.
chuck out the first 5 or 6
Yeah.
revisions, you keep the last one, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna have a pile of garbage that you can have a bonfire with, probably.
Right. After
what
Durham
we're
says I can.
After
After Durham says I can. Yeah.
And Eloise, right, separating them.
And Eloise is gonna go through this.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Yeah, just coordinate it and let us know when
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
The bottom of the steps was really nice and clean, now it's not.
That's it.
not that there's any action for us to take, but I received a letter from the DOT that next year they're going to be paving Route 57. In essence, it looks like from Main Street up through, like to the concrete mile, it looks like right to the end.
No, okay. Oh, so the whole, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm reading this right, it's what it looks like. But it doesn't give much information other than it says during the construction season of 2015.
Does it say
Here.
that they're doing it at nighttime? Are they doing it at nighttime?
It's very colorful.
Joe?
Well, 173 days.
How does that
Carl
affect the
Foster
A?
has that.
How does that affect the A, property that we have, the NJ, with people putting the stuff on the A?
The staging area, you think?
Well, that's a maybe a good question. Well, no, this, my guess is this will be done before batting starts.
Okay, good, all right, good.
Do they say?
And then they'll wreck the new
And then
pavement.
they'll wreck the
It doesn't say yet if it's going to be nighttime.
There's really not much information there. They said it even says pending approval of funding, so they, you know, this is like real preliminary.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. You can keep it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Better than you.
Yeah, speaking of the Amy property and the staging area and so forth, mentioned that, and that is actually in my report, but just to bring up quickly, we relayed to the EPA the township's approval of the site and our ability to offer it. There were questions asked of us because of obviously the Green Acres component. Bob Kinase then put together emails and various backup correspondence trying to address the concerns raised. I sent his contact information. The EPA is just being completely non-responsive. Like, Bob has emailed, called, I called, emailed. They were on my back for quite a long time about where's the property, we need to know where the property is, blah, 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 blah.
They know now, they probably aren't moving in here.
So, I don't know. So we have certainly done what we've been asked to do, the ball's in their court.
Exactly.
And so there's no definitive approval, I guess, yet. But they're aware of the property, we sent a plan, we the whole bit, so
Yeah,
that's where that's at.
that's good.
Then that's clear.
Thank you, Mike.
Correspondence from Carl Foster on the curbing. We got the letter from former Mayor Carl Foster
Oh,
with a
yes,
scooter,
thank you.
riding around with a scooter.
Yeah.
John and I looked down at the Legion area there, where the driveway apron is there. The curb is up higher than, when you go down the ramp, there's a curb.
And it's not ADA compliant.
And it's our sidewalk. So he has an issue there, Carl has an issue there with that curbing. And then further out, he says by Home Depot and ShopRite, the curbing at the handicap area is...
The Home Depot and ShopRite one was confused, because they're clearly is ADA compliant. So I
Isn't
don't
that the
know-
one that we...
I didn't get where he was talking about.
Yeah, but the Legion one right here,
Well,
as soon as you pull into our
The Legion
thing
one-
there,
For old buildings like
Yeah.
that, that are that's very typical that
no,
there's a problem.
those are our new sidewalks. Those are the new, in front of the Legion, that was a new sidewalk that was done with the township here, and then it comes right into our driveway, where you turn in here.
Oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. But, I showed it to John, but he wants you to take a look at this because we have to fix that. He said it's not ADA compliant at all.
Who's that, John?
John Hill.
Oh.
I was with him today, and we checked it out.
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
Okay. Yeah, I do. In fact, I have Carl's letter.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I carry it around.
All
Yeah.
right, so I'll get a motion to authorize, is it Mike?
And,
Mike to oversee the
yeah,
repairs for the ADA compliant sidewalk in front of
yeah.
the Legion Home. As needed.
I'll second. Comment? Roll call?
Bailey's?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Torello?
I also think we have to take photographs of where he's talking about at Home Depot and ShopRite, because we don't know where that's...
No, I
coming
have
from.
I have his letter, I carry it around with me, actually, because I want to stop and look when I'm there. And I don't, that one was, that clearly is ADA compliant site, for the most part. There might be some heaving and stuff that doesn't, but that's
Yeah.
just where it came.
And we noticed
That's-
right in front of the building here, right by the mailbox, the sidewalk's heaped up high. So if someone goes walking and falls, whatever. Yeah. We're responsible for that sidewalk.
Get it today.
Yeah, and those are new sidewalks.
Can I have a motion to open up for second public comment?
I'll make that motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think when you have something like this, you should put it on the agenda, so we know what we're...
Oh, it was supposed to be part of his
I know
report.
it's a letter, I don't know, do you know this letter is supposed to be part of your report?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the Carl Foster letter, and...
Well,
Not as part of his report, but it was sent to him that he was to update at
Yeah.
the meeting.
Yeah, but you're bringing up other issues about our sidewalks here too. I think if there's issues that we
It
need to
is ours.
address, I know that, but if there's issues that we need to address, we should have it in the list and we should be knowing what we're looking at before we commit, so we can make a decision rather than putting it on. Okay? That's it.
Again, I didn't think about putting it in my report, because to be honest with you, I hadn't looked at it, and it was I looked at it as a quickie kind of thing, until, of course, if there was a need to do work, then obviously it changed the question.
Okay, we had a motion and a second to open up for public comment.
Who was the second? I'm sorry. Jim made the motion and Tom seconded. Oh, okay. All in favor?
Anyone wishing to make public comment, you'll have to state your name and address.
Paul Bean, 417 North Main Street. Where to start? All right, Jim, I like your idea about the community cleanup and the leaf cleanup and everything. However, I want to save you a lot of time. The current trash removal companies that service this community are not in a position to do leaf cleanup. Number two is, back when the county dump was open 20-some-odd years ago, there was a county ordinance that we were no longer allowed to dump green refuse, grass clippings, things and that, into our day-to-day trash because with the shortage of space and all that good kind of stuff, the landfill couldn't absorb it, and by keeping 30% of that refuse out of there, it was done. Cohasset Township and Alpha subcontract, private lead contractors, LMR, Sanico, all these are not in a position to, they don't have the right permits for that. Their bulk containers are slightly different permitted use and things of that nature, but there is no refuse company right now that's in a position to pick up on a weekly basis. They don't have the permits and/or situation, so you might want to be looking outside of your normal ones right from the word go. But I'm all for leaf cleanup because I charge the residents here a phenomenal amount of money to get rid of their leaves legally. And a lot of people just seem to let them blow on down the road, and we find piles all over the community. So I think that's kind of a good idea that you need to work on, but you need to work on that at a different aspect. Service electric phone, first I'm hearing it, negligence for not catching it before. Yes, they were certainly significantly cheaper for providing phone and internet services and stuff like that. For me, it's kind of worked out well, but make no mistake, their system goes down a lot. And here at a township where daily phone calls and internet use is far more important than it is for me, I don't know how you're going to get by that because it is very storm sensitive. And it doesn't necessarily mean when lines going down, it's just storm sensitive. And when the phone system goes out, it goes out for 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. That's been my experience. Cost savings been huge. I love it from that aspect. But thank God there are mobile phones that can be used for other purposes. If I relied on my hardline all the time, I'd be in trouble. Last comment, or two other comments, but I'll make them quick. Community Day. If it's going to be privately funded, and I don't want to disrespect the community, but it should be labeled as such. Community Day sponsored by such or something. It should not no longer be Greenwich Community Day. It just should be Community Day sponsored by whether one private sponsor or many. Just something to consider. And last but not least, I think that you all sitting up there don't have a day-to-day working with the police department like I do, whether it's business, resident-wise, EMS. It's clearly been a burden to be without their administrative assistant. And that's what I have to say.
Gary Hill, 529 North Main Street. Two issues. The first one, real quick, was just brought up by Mr. Pinelli. I'm glad to see that the street issue on North and South Main Street, Washington Green Street, is still being looked at. Regarding the painting on the roads, is there or will there at least be a repavement clause? If I can see the way it'll just fall in our laps, that we get it painted and they'll come through and repave the road 4 months later and want to put their stuff out again. So look for a repavement clause. Not sure if you had a chance to look at the measurements that I brought up the last meeting along Main Street. I have the area that was in question. There is a 1.5 difference. I'd like to bring in the exact measurements with me today. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at it, but there is a 1.5 difference from where the yellow zone is now at, where I now have to park further away. And again, why we need 150 feet? It only takes 85 feet to stop 25 miles an hour. Breaking distance and everything else, but why you guys taking pictures of my car? I have no idea. But take all the pictures you want. Okay. That's what I was touching on what being just said regarding our police assistant. We need the officers on the phone. Get them off the phone. Get them out of the office. The residents that see cops on the streets, they feel safe. Plain and simple. When they're stuck inside answering the phones, doing administrative duties, they can't be on the street. They can't be protecting the city. They can't do the job they love, the job that they swore to do. When you have fewer officers, the lower manpower is just plain dangerous. It's dangerous to the officers that are now having to work on single shifts, and it's dangerous to the residents and the visitors of Raymond County. If you want to attract tax revenue to Raymond County, people love to live in safe communities. Take the cops off the street and make them answer phones. They can't be seen. They're not going to attract the businesses that like safe communities. You attract those businesses with the safe communities, you get better tax revenue. More money for you guys building them. We wouldn't even think about bringing the assistant back to the police department so the officers can get back out on the road, do what they're supposed to do. The residents can see them, everybody can feel safer, and they can get the job done.
I'm sure you're not going to want to hear what I have to say. I'm going to preface my comments by saying it's my opinion. You seem to be suing a lot of people these days, so I certainly don't want to get sued for my comments and public comment. But and this does tie to an agenda item and ties that to the issue with the police chief. I just want to talk about a pattern of behavior. Joe, specifically, I can't even call you mayor because I'm so upset by some of the decisions that you're making, and I think all the decisions are driven by you. The others are going along with them, including the attorneys that are driven by you. Pattern of behavior. When I was on the committee, before you were on the committee in 2011, you asked to be put on the planning board. You seem to have been sworn when I didn't put you on the planning board because that's when behavior was in a downward spiral. You defamed the last CFO until she threatened to sue. You didn't stop until she threatened to sue. You fired the financial administrator and hired your neighbor. You fired the police secretary. Now the police are having to do the administrative duties. They didn't go to the academy to do administrative work. Did you go to law school to do administrative work? You continue to harass the police chief. I believe it's because you wanted a safety director. You weren't in agreement with the promotion of the chief. You wanted a safety director. So you continue to harass him. Retaliation against the chief. I think you feel that you're better equipped to make decisions for the police department. Would you feel safe? The chief made a very good analogy, and it was the comment was made in the newspaper. Would you feel safe getting in an airplane to travel somewhere after a pilot was out of that job for 3 years? Would you feel safe getting in that plane without that pilot not being recertified? But you're better equipped to make decisions for the police department, Joe. You disciplined the court administrator because she made your neighbor cry. Okay? Because she made your neighbor cry. Maybe you felt that was a hostile work environment. But guess what, Joe? You need to look in the mirror because you have created many a times a hostile work environment. All you have to do is ask some of the employees here, and I'm sure they would be more than happy to share the hostile work environment that you've created. And I think you've made some of them cry as well. Did you get disciplined and sent home? I don't think so. Seizing the police computers. What is that about? What could that possibly be about? What gives you the authority as a township committee member, even as a mayor, to seize the police computers? What are you looking for? Is it because you got caught in the middle of the healthcare fraud situation, Joe? Is that why? Last year, when Dan and I were on the committee, we had a fully executed and signed DPW contract. It got renegotiated. What, more work for our township attorney? Unbelievable. I have a tort claim filed against me. CFO has a tort claim filed against her from Committeewoman Miliani. We have lawsuits. The town has a lawsuit from the Committeewoman Miliani. Officer Taziopoulos. We're suing the prosecutor's office. We're in litigation with the Board of Ed, Phillipsburg. Where's all this money coming from? I'm a taxpayer here. And I don't like the way this is going. I really don't like the way this is going. You're not making good decisions, and you really should resign. You are not equipped to do this job.
Anyone else wishing to make public comment?
Point of order, Federal Roads, Forest Building, there's support the police officer, like I said before, and everything we stand for. But I have a question for you. I believe I've asked you to give me the address and the you got all this grant money. I believe I asked you for the telephone number and the address where the grant money came for, to finish a grant problem that has never been completed, which has been going on for, 5 years now, 4 years? Nobody ever gives me an answer. Yep. I'll send an engineer out to look at it. Engineer, cut a bore angle. Went to the engineer. I'll bring my lawnmower over and show me how to cut it with this mower now. The tree's dying. The excuse, the tree's got a disease. It's funny it didn't have a disease until the root base was cut out. All right? And you can see the tree's dying all the way up. She's lived there for 91 years. And this is how people are going to treat her. She paid taxes there with family for 91 years. Nobody's ever got back. Can you give me the phone number where the grant money comes from? And an address where I go to Belvedere? And find out what happened to the grant money that was set aside to cut those 2 trees down. I understand one tree not being cut down, but when you cut a root base out, further than this, you kill the tree. I don't care what you say. And I'm not an engineer, and I'm not a tree specialist, but anybody up there knows if you cut the root base out, you kill it. Not a little tree. This is a 60-foot tree. Now, we're going to be responsible if something happens. And if the tree comes down, somebody's going to be held responsible here, and like I said before, if I get hurt cutting that yard, somebody here's going to be held responsible. Because I'm not buying a push mower for something should have been done right. I was told they put a wall up in Washington. Well, I told that gentleman, I knew about the wall. Well, the township paid for it to do the job properly. This job was never done properly, and I complained ever since it was put in. When the first sidewalk was first put in, and it cracked, and I told them it's cracked. Well, it's cracked all the way through. Don't replace it. I don't really care about that anymore. I'm more worried about my safety getting hurt there than anything. The sidewalk, if it needs, you know what? The township put it in, let them maintain it, let them take the snow up there until stuff is corrected out there. Thank you. And I back you 100%.
Anyone else wishing to make public comment? Seeing no hands, a motion to close?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone have anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Make motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.